But what's up, man? Welcome to the Power Hour. We're happy to have you here.
Yes, happy to be here. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. And for everybody out there who doesn't know you, tell us how they follow you. Tell us what type of stocks you look at, what type of trading you do, and then let's dive into some individual names.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know me from StockTwits or Twitter, BullTradeFinder, as well as Discord, my own room, and I'm in a couple other rooms as well. I day trade and I swing trade, whether it be options or penny stocks. It all depends on the day, really. Currently, I'm mostly in a lot of swings for options.
Okay, and what type of names are you option swing trading? Like, are they the hot
Sure.
stocks, the hot movers? Are you doing some of the boring ones? Like I just talked about a Bank of America trade. Like, what tickers we talking about?
Yeah, I'm not interested in the Bank of America trade. I've been interested in BlackBerry since around $7. Had a nice day trade in Upwork today, around a $2 profit per share. I mean, Solar Edge on the dip, the trade desk on the dip, and there's a lot of other names that I'm in as well that have been doing well, as well as AMC, another big move that's been happening recently.
All right, so I'm going to pick a couple out of that list. Upwork and AMC are super interesting to me. Upwork, we have to talk about. We talk about Upwork a ton on this show. It's been the Jason Raznick winner of the quarter past couple months.
Am I on audio?
Yep.
That was my trade, man. I bought it 24, 25, down to 17. I got ripped on for months or for weeks. And then before earnings, I went hardcore in it because they changed the pricing model about 2 months before, where you couldn't go off the network as much. And I looked at three analyst reports and no one mentioned it. And so I took that as informational edge and I bought calls and stock. Well, in hindsight, I didn't buy enough, but it was pretty sweet, to be honest. It was pretty sweet. And I sold out a little bit too early, but I still have I had these calls that expired at $20 yesterday on Friday. I let them expire and I bought, say, another 1,000 shares at $20 on Friday.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, if you look at it, and you could look at it, basically, I guess you could say a competitor in Fiverr, look at how that's done over these past few months and past year or two, and that's grown exponentially. So I'm kind of comparing that a little bit to Upwork and kind of seeing the same thing going on right now.
So, I mean,
agree with you.
You said, was it a day trade that you did in Upwork today?
Yes, today was a day trade around, let me just pull it up for myself.
Yeah, and can we put my screen on the stream, please, producer Rohan? And so I'm curious, what on this chart made you want to get into the stock? Or is there something beyond the chart that you're looking at?
Yeah, to me, it was hitting like the 14 and 30 SMA, getting to a mini volume shelf there at around the 37 range. I actually entered earlier around the 38 range this morning, and I averaged down to around where it hit around that 37, and that's where the average got pretty good there. So we sold when it got back to around 38.60, 38.70. It was a quick day trade for options. I did not do shares, just options on this one.
Okay, and when you're making a trade like this, how far out are you going with the options? What sort of strike price are you looking at, etc.?
Yeah, so what I like to do is near money. So this one I did 42.50 calls, and I did February, so a month out. The reason why I like to do month to 2 months out is because the safety on that, you never know what's going to happen, and the market was looking pretty iffy. Talking about ES, the SPY futures, it was holding that 37.76 area, but it was starting to, fiddle around it, so that's why I went a month out on these instead of going with a weekly call.
Okay, so it was the simple moving averages is what it was that you were looking for, correct?
Yeah, and it was hitting a little volume shelf on the daily candles that I liked that showed some support in that area.
Explain to me what you mean with the volume shelf.
Sure. Yeah, that's it.
Because I look at this chart, I just see a knife drop down,
Yeah.
I want to understand, how you knew on this one.
So going on my screen, there is a lot of volume or shares traded in the 35 to 37 range. And it started to tip into that area today. It got right to about 37, and it hit that top of that shelf, the volume shelf, as I'll call it, and it started to bounce from that area. Now, what was
and
also
do you have a
good
screen
is
up
the
that you can share with us?
Yeah.
If you have a chart, let's check that one out. Basically, I think what you're saying is you're saying that historically there's been a ton of trading activity in that $35 to $37 range. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and again, if you can share your screen, that would be helpful, I think.
Can you see it now?
Yep, see it.
Okay. So going into this here, I'm using TrendSpider for the charting right now. And you could see on this side right here, these volume bars is where I'm talking about. And you can see it starts to hit this level right here. Here's my SMAs, the 14 and 30 SMA. And I kind of drew a mini wedge down here, and it hit the bottom of that basically almost as well. And that's why I started a position today, and I just decided to close it today when it started to break up higher.
All right, so there's the Upwork trade. The other one that I said was especially interesting. I've seen this ticker a ton in the chat. I said we try to get to some chat tickers today. Can you talk to us about the AMC trade?
Yeah, so I entered on this one on Friday at around 2:30. I got calls on this one for farther out, and it breached 250 that day. Today, it seems like obviously it went down to kind of touch that gap area that it had this morning. And you could see it broke out of this long-term downtrend that I have here. Well, I can't say that yet, really, because as you can see, it's been kind of riding this line, even with the wicks above that. So I can't say it really broke it yet, but you can see that it definitely has, tried to pierce through it. So we'll see how it closes on the day. So this one could possibly get back up to that $4 range up here, where there's a lot of, openings and closings, where you can see a lot of resistance in that area. As well as for penny stocks, any dollar amount is a resistance for them. So that's one area to look at this one to see if it closes over this trend line here and if it could push higher. I'd like to see it close over 3 really, and that would be a good area to possibly look at going forward, or maybe even buy the dip when it occurs.
Okay, so I'm not in this stock now. The number that you're watching for is 3. So if you see a close above 3, you're thinking that that's the bullish sign. If we close below 3, you're sort of saying hang out and sit on the sidelines. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, I would just sit on the sidelines. I mean, we're already positioned in for the trade, and we've even taken some off from the 230 range on Friday. So like I said, I just really want to see this close over the trend line, but I would love a close over 3, showing strength over that and trying to make that a support now.
Okay, and I want to throw this one out to the chat. I want to crowdsource this one. There are no third-party voters. If you guys like AMC at this price right now, I see $2.96 on my screen as the latest price. Throw the 1 in there. If you don't like it, throw the 2. I'm curious where everyone is at this name. This has obviously been a controversial, a hot and interesting stock over the past year. And again, can you tell us, Nick, the strike and the time horizon on the options you're holding?
Yeah, let me just pull that up. If I'm correct, it was June 18th, $3 calls.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So you've got some decent room. Wow. So you got to be with the stock almost at $3. You've got to be definitely making some money on that one.
Yeah, it's been a good play so far.
And the chat is mixed on this one. I love it when the chat is mixed. I feel like whenever we throw out a name, it's always like 100% of people like the stock, 100% of people hate the stock. I love these ones where the chat is mixed. I feel like those are the times where you have some real money to be made. You might be getting into something that not everybody's in yet. And somebody else in the chat throwing out a fact that the stock is 30% short.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a short squeeze candidate there.
Yeah, that's another thing about this stock is there was kind of the trend lately has been, they've been attacking these highly shorted stocks, GME, BBBY, and you can see where those went. So this could possibly be one of the next ones that they try to do.
Okay, awesome. And then, Nick, any other stocks for us? Any other trades that are on your radar? Things I should be looking at? I made a ton of trades last week. I bought a ton of stocks last week. I haven't bought anything yet this week. Anything I should have my eye on?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I want you guys to watch is definitely ABMD here.
Wait. Too fast for me. Too fast for me. Slow down. Which one is it?
ABMD. A Biomed.
Okay, so that's Alpha, Bravo, Mike, Delta. Okay.
Correct. Yes. And I don't know if you guys can still see my chart, right?
Yeah, but let's get it on there. Can you make it bigger, please, producer? There it is. All right, keep going.
Yeah, so, I mean, what I see here is, it's trading range after breaking out here. Longer term, this was like a cup and a handle setup. At least a kind of weird cup and handle setup. You could see it like kind of forming here around the bottom, and you could see the handle forming here and now breaking out higher. So what I was looking out for this play is a break over 335, which we're getting close to.
And what time horizon are those candles? Are those daily candles, or what are those?
So on the cup and handle, which I was just showing right here, this is the weekly. This setup right here is the weekly.
Okay, so each candle's a week?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I'm going into... This is where I was just showing the larger view of the cup and handle over time. And here I'm going into the daily now, and we're looking at this little range that has been trading sideways. And I wanted to see a true break over 335, and then the next targets would be around the 380 range. And this is a name that was trading at 460 a few years ago, and then dipped all the way down to around 100. and now it's starting to head back up now to that all-time high, which could possibly hit this year.
Okay.
So wanted to watch this name for sure.
And are you in it yet? You want to see a little bit more conviction in the move? I mean, what's the status?
I want to see a little more conviction, break and close over 335, and then I'll start a position. And then if it happens to dip, I'll be looking to add the dips. I believe over that 335, it should start a new run and set up going higher, and then we should be looking to add dips whenever it happens.
Okay, got it. So, and it sounds like you're buying shares of this one. You're not playing at options. You're buying shares.
I'll be doing both. What I'm looking for there is June calls, probably around the 400 range.
All right, there it is. So we have the new trade. There's the air horns. Ticker ABMD. We want to see a close above 335, and you're buying the June 400 strikes.
Yeah, and then another trade that's interested me and that I have a good position as well is FLNT. So this one hasn't been working out. I was in when it started to build this flag here. The ticker is FLNT. This one correlates with MGNI, TTD, and all those big names that have been running recently. It's another advertising stock related to them. And this is another company that's been doing really good financially. Year over year and quarter over quarter revenue increase, as well as earnings per share increase. And now they've went profitable this year, even during the coronavirus. And they're looking to be, I think they're going to grow into a bigger stock. This is one of the stocks that I really liked in 2021 along with BlackBerry. I think they were both going to double and triple in value, and so far BlackBerry has started to do that from my $7 alert, and now this one has went down from there. But I do think this one could see 15 to 20 expected growth in all that I see in this company. At least I believe it could definitely do that, at least see 10. And if you look at MI and TTD and how they've grown over the year, it's been crazy. So this is something to look at, as well as this one has a cupping formation as well. You could see here, and you could see it probably might have made a cup right here going across, and this could be the handle kind of forming, and this is the weekly candles here, and it seems like we're kind of getting to that apex right here where it could start to turn around and go higher. The break area that you would want to see for a new trend going up is 650, where we could start to see that 10 area that I've been talking about.
All right, so that's another one. And again, if I'm not in this stock now, is the idea to start building the position, or is it hang out for a little bit? And I'm curious. I'm going to throw this one out to the chat, too.
Yeah.
I don't know the stock. I haven't heard of this one yet. I think it's maybe one of the few that I haven't heard of. So I'm curious if anybody else in the chat is in this name. Throw me the one. I want to see how much the story's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I like this position here. I think this is a good area to start a position if you wish to, around where basically the handle is on that cup, and getting into these candles here around 4 and 4:30. This is like the same sort of setup. I saw Jake was the last person that was on before me, correct?
No, before you, we had Jason.
Jason, sorry.
Yep,
Jason,
my
yes.
lovely co-host Jason. Shout out to you.
Yeah. E&G was a play that he talked about, and we were actually in that at $1 due to the same financial reasons that FLNT is currently having right now, FLNT, as well as CLSK, and you could see where those plays went. I know, there's a trend now with energy and all that, but also even with the financials of both those companies, it was something. They were both turning around, and one, the trend helped, and two, possibly even the financials helped. So looking for the same sort of move here with FLNT, just as comparisons as well.
So you were in ENG at 1. We might need to get Jason off of this show and make you the co-host.
I mean, so you said FLNT is similar to ENG?
Only that they were turning around financially. Not that the companies were the same.
And this is one we should research, Jason, but this is an advertising stock. It's a space that we know well. We should have some sort of information advantage here. So I'm writing this one down on the watch list.
Did he answer how he found ENG at 85 cents?
Yes, 1 second. If you guys can still see my screen, I don't know.
Yep, we see it.
I don't know if it's going to show it here. I might have to actually go into their earnings reports. Yahoo Finance is a little iffy. Yeah, it's not
Benzinga. Why not use Benzinga? We have stuff. Yes, we do. Have you ever used Benzinga Pro?
That's true.
Have you ever used Benzinga
no,
Pro?
I did not yet.
We should get him an account. I mean, Jonathan Mel would love phone calls for an account for Benzinga Pro, Luke?
Yes. Aaron, can we please get Nick a Benzinga Pro account? I feel bad that he has to rely on Yahoo Finance.
Well, I'm not going to waste any time, but I'd be glad to talk to you about it. And basically, I'd have to go through the earnings reports and explain to you, what I saw. We got in a while ago. It was probably around here, like when it was around 120, 110. We held it for months, and now it started to take off. Many people sold just because it was definitely taking too long, and I agree. I sold some as well, but it started to tear up. And like I said, a big reason because of that move was definitely the trend in the energy and all this EV stuff as well, and batteries. But they were turning around financially and starting to grow quarter over quarter with revenue and earnings per share growth.
Got it. Okay, so you're screening for the financials. Is that fair to say?
For these penny stocks, yes.